La 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 la. Mic check. Can you hear me?
Sound check, Eroc, are you there?
Are you there?
Mic check, mic check. I'm in the building.
Is everyone's video working?
Hello. Hello.
Mama Lula.
Yes. Welcome, everyone. We miss you so much. And we've been thinking of you and what are the different ways that we can be with you, right? When you're out on those streets, when you're out there protesting for, for our collective rights out there around housing, around COVID. We've been praying so much for you, for your families, for your health. And for this part, we wanted to offer something a little bit different so you could watch in your own time. We know that you don't have 3 hours to be on Zoom, even if the content is nourishing. So we're gonna switch things up a little bit so that way you can access our medicine when you have time, so that way, you can share it with your family. You can share it with whoever needs this medicine too. So this is not just for you, this is for those who need it. So Luana Morales, she, her, hers. And I'm going to pass it to Sadada.
The bottom is Juanino Kishkoato and and it's so very good to be here with you all. And although we are not physically with you, we are here with you in heart and care and wanting you all to get your needs met. And so our hope is that in kind of this highlight of what we will offer in terms of moments of being by your side as you do the work and the labor you do in the world, and that you care for the vessel, the bodies, the ancestries that you come from, so that your descendants, so that all of our descendants can benefit generously from your work. We'll start just by doing a simple sit. It's kind of, in some ways, it's an extendant of a land acknowledgement, that we'll acknowledge ourselves in this physical place, being held by this land, our mother who is also our father, to which we are all children of. And so just find a comfortable position. It can be seated, it could be standing, it could even be lying down, where your spine is long and supported, and bring your attention to your breath. And if breathing is not something that feels resourceful or accessible to you at this time, then bring your awareness to where your body is making contact with the earth. And see the ground that you are on, no matter how far away from the earth it might be, if it's elevated off the ground by different floors, or how far removed from the natural earth it could be. Maybe it's a rug. And imagine the ways in which that surface, too, is part of the earth. And that earth is holding you. And if you're practicing with your breath, you can imagine your breath caring for you. And the sense of being held and cared for is always with you. See if you can imagine the parts of your body that are making contact extending into the earth, almost like roots. That those roots are being received by the soil. And that soil, like all of us here, are so happy to receive and to hold you. And then in response of that happiness, that soil begins to nourish you. And this extending down into the earth, this being held by the earth and nourished, is the relationship. The relationship that becomes your connection with this land, to the ancestors of this land, to their descendants. And it becomes the way in which you align your work, your love, your life, and your liberation. And when you feel ready, if you've closed your eyes, you can open them. Or you can keep them closed and just listen to what we have kind of in store, this abundant menu of offerings. I will be offering you all 3 various kind of body-based practices that you can do in different times of the day that you feel called to. One is a more active practice, the other is a more restorative practice, and the other is to kind of balance more the pranayama practice. So I look forward to practicing with you, and that you really receive these when and how you need to. May they always nourish you. And I'll invite Mama Lula on to talk about her love offerings. We can hear you, Mama Lula.
Greetings, beloved. It's so wonderful to be with you on this beautiful July day. Thank you, Sadada, for opening up the space in a way that encourages us to breathe, to take a moment between each breath to rest and to be restored. Over the course of the last few months, I have sat with you in circle and marveled at all of the wonderful things you do in this world to move this world along. Your activism creates the movement that is so needed for the self-care of our communities. And all of the different issues that you work on in a daily basis, from keeping people safe in their houses, protecting them from oppression and injustices, and how you give so tirelessly of yourself. I honor that in you, and I ask you to sit and honor that in yourself. And one way that I have tried very hard to support you on this journey is by encouraging you to do self-care practices, to make yourself a ritual, to put yourself in a place where you are honoring who you are and all of the different roles that you play. And they are many. And my question has always been, how do we take care of ourselves physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially as we respect all of who we are and where we are on the spectrum of self-care? And so I want to continue to encourage you to place yourself as that seed of activism. How do you radically care for yourself in the midst of all that you do and the crises that we are facing in the world right now? because you are our most important asset. And I want you to see that and honor that in yourself. Um, so I offer you in upcoming videos rituals of self-care. How do you, where are the places that you can go to unburden and disrobe? So I will offer you nature rituals, asking you to spend time in nature, to have a journey, to journal about your experience, and integrate what you journal about and experience in nature and try to weave into your life all that you learn, because if we're in nature, there are whispers that will help answer the question, what it is that I need in order to be well. I will also offer water ritual so that you can take an opportunity to listen to the song of water and ask yourself and give to the water those things that you need to flow easily and gently into your life. And as we place all of the things that we need in order to be well on our altar, that we give those things over to our ancestors and our spirit guides to gently take us to that place. So I will also offer how to set up a simple altar, either in your home or in nature, wherever you go, and you want to give honor to the elements that can help with the flow in your life, to hold your grief, your tears, your sadness, your joy. An altar is a place where you can offer that up. And so, beloved, I travel with you on your road to standing strong and resilient in your nature, to continue the fight and to continue to place yourself first on your own agenda before taking up the work of the community's agenda. Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Ashe. Thank you, Mama Lula. Peace, y'all. In the midst of pandemic uprisings, massive transformations, individual vicarious traumas are coming up. We can feel them in our spirits and our bodies. And I'm looking forward to folks taking, maybe one practice here and one practice here, and practicing with the practices and seeing how they go together, how they flow. And I can imagine they are strongly connected. So maybe after you take that nature walk that Mama Lula's going to help move you through, you're going to go ahead and check out one of the offerings I'm going to send, which is around a sacred shower and a sacred bath. And having that connection and creating it in a way that it can become, that it feels yours, and practicing with that until it feels just right. And that can also keep transforming and changing. And one of the other things I'm going to offer is a journal writing prompt. And that's going to be around conversations we have with ourselves. So thinking about our perception of self, conversation with self, and even when was the last time that we sat down and wrote ourselves a love letter, reminded ourselves how we felt about ourselves and real, genuine, authentic way. And so moving people through that, it might be great right after one of the other practices to go ahead and do that as well. And then I'll give a couple of tips and things that I've been using in order in this moment, because we're no one is safe from the poison that is coming from these systems that we are all organizing to dismantle. So you are all missed. There's a lot of love here. I hope you feel it palpably off of the screen from folks. And I look forward to sharing offerings. And I've been grateful for the practices and the connections we've had. I miss being in person. I miss hugs. I miss dancing with y'all. And that's the other thing. Maybe we'll dance a little bit on and send a little bit of that as well. So just sending love and gratitude. And remember, one thing is that maybe in the moment you receive the offerings isn't the moment for you, but to think about when you can start to put that in your calendar and like prioritize yourself in that moment. Maybe you go, I'm feeling overwhelmed, and so that means tomorrow I'll do one of the practices, and then you purposely take the moment to put that into your calendar and your busy calendars and the times that you're doing. So thank you for everything you're doing, and thank you for taking the time to pay attention to yourself, your spirit, your body, and care for it. I really appreciate it. And when you do that, I can feel the love that you're giving the community as well.
Thank you, Eroc, for all you've named and the spaciousness you've offered us in receiving these practices that feels honest and grounded. And thank y'all so much for being here, for taking the time to receive these offerings, and really wanting to emphasize allowing yourself to receive these offerings as feels right for you. There's no pressure, there's no timeline. It is based on your needs. And that is the foundation of why we're offering this. I want to offer witnessing to any places in your various bodies that are holding tension, that are holding pain, that are holding grief, that has been able to move, that has perhaps not been able to move. I wish that what has felt blocked or stagnant receives the medicine it needs so it can move, and we can continue to be present. I also want to express deep gratitude for the ways that you all listen, the ways that you all transmute energy into sacred action. We are in deep debt and honor for the ways that you practice and the ways that you live your values through your bodies. And this is a space where the way that we are offering love is a reminder to tend to and care for the vessel of your body as well that is receiving all these messages, that is witnessing, that is seeing maybe what others will say is not real, but we know it's real. Feel it in your body, and so it is so. So deep gratitude, and from that place of gratitude, I will be offering 2 grounding practices, meditation spaces that are intended to be supportive. I know that in sometimes meditation spaces or spaces that either have a focus on the breath or the body, it can sometimes not be nourishing and can be difficult to hold. So as you move through these practices, I want to just invite you to listen to your body. That's wisdom, that's truth. And if something is not for you, then it's not for you. I find so much love and resource and guidance in the way the earth lives and holds rapid movement. Plants, when they are experiencing strong gusts of wind, actually are strengthened in their roots in those moments, are able to grip and deepen as a way, almost as a gift of the gusts of wind, right? And we can understand all this rapid movement within us and around us as gusts of wind. And it's an invitation to, in that place, allow yourself to land into the physical place that you're in, onto this earth, and strengthen your roots. So I'll be guiding a meditation on that. And I'll also be guiding a meditation and or visualization practice on rest, visualizing rest, calling in rest, and honoring rest as a form of reclamation and as an honoring of our ancestors, and all who we are connected to who have not been allowed to rest. So I will be offering that with so much love and humility and gratitude for your being here. So thank you.
Doesn't it sound amazing? I can't wait to see these videos and do them myself. I am so excited. And yes, we're here to continue celebrating you, to hopefully the same ways that we are installing or experiences, these challenging experiences, these fears that we're experiencing have installed memories into our body. We hope that these practices that we're sharing with you will also be installed into your body to combat and to interrupt the stories and the suffering. To give you nourishment, to fill your cup while you're going out there. I mean, we're out there out on these streets with you, so we see you. We long to hug you. And we hope that this is a way that you can feel our closeness, because we have hugged a lot of you in person. So hopefully these practices and being with you in this way can activate the memory of those hugs, can activate the memory of the ways that we've shared food together, the ways that we've sang songs together, the way that we've bared witness to each other's tears and to each other's laughter, to the connections that we've made, with each other. For some of us who have, maybe just shared one time a space together, and there's some of you who have been on this journey with Seeds for the last 3-4 years now. So we hope that using technology and transcending time and space, we're able to create that feeling of support, of nourishment and love. So what the practices that I'm going to be sharing with you all is around bringing in the ritual and the sacred in our everyday practices. We have rituals, and sometimes when we talk about rituals, we think it's like this thing that we have to like stop everything and dedicate all of this time to. And sometimes that feels like an obstacle to getting to it, right? Because we make it so big. So one of the things that I'm going to be talking about in one of the offerings is how to bring the sacred into your daily rituals, right? So there are things that we do every day, like we drink coffee, we make our tea, we brush our teeth, we get in the shower. So how can we bring in the sacred and mindfulness to the things that we already do? Because oftentimes, like adding another thing when we already feel like we don't have enough time feels like too much. So I'm gonna offer some practices for that. Another thing that I'm gonna be sharing is, some self-touch practices. A lot of us are isolated. A lot of us don't have people to be in a pod with, right? So we're longing for touch. Our skin needs it, right? This is like a biological need. So how can we, in these times for our collective safety, that we're socially distancing, we're also missing this really vital part that nourishes us, that is just as important as sleep and as water and as food, right? So we're going to practice, I'm going to show some practices for self-touch and care to get you through. And also, we're also on all these Zoom calls, right? So what are the different things that we can do to kind of help move the energy from the places that are stuck from just like sitting in front of a screen? And then the other offering is like, we're going to sing together. I'm going to share some songs with y'all, because one of my favorite things to do when we're all together is to sing. So I'll be sharing some songs that, maybe you could sing with your families, with your peoples. And this is like a way of breathing devotionally together. This is the way that we're going to breathe together, is through these songs. So those are going to be our offerings. I will be sending an email attached to this video, and just, what are ways that we want to also keep in touch in between, right? So do folks want to have a Facebook group or any sort of other social media? So I'm going to be hopefully sourcing from you all. What are ways that feel good and nourishing and generative, right? So we want to feed you, your heart, your body, and your spirit. So we look forward to the day to being together again. And I'm sure, again, we out there in these streets. So we look forward to the day that we could share a meal, that we can break bread, that we could sing, that we could cry, and we could just like continue installing these experiences of liberation in our bodies together. So blessings to wherever you are. May you be perfectly supported. May you feel safe. May you feel held. And in those moments that you feel alone, may you know and may you experience proof that there's people in this world that love you, that are invested in your health, that are invested in your healing, and that are in this with you together. So have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, 3 o'clock in the morning, because the fireworks are popping off, and it's a thing that might help you sleep. We love you. Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Thank you all.
Thank you.